You ready? Welcome to One More. I'm your host, Brian Erickson. You do this to me every week. God.
Each week he brings on.
We bring in two new guests. We sit them down on the couch. We throw candy at people. And we find out why they do what they do. And this week is no exception. It's Halloween week. So we brought candy to the studio. And it has become just an unmitigated disaster. First and as oh wait, no, but we have to introduce the guest.
Who are our guests?
Can
we just run it again? No.
Yeah, cut and just run it again.
Take two. Go.
We have Jack Linden of the band Gambit, and we have the Vaughns all the way from sunny Springfield, New Jersey. But first, and as always, Chris Dubrow.
Hey, Brian.
So I have this theory that a couple weeks ago I did such a good, seamless intro.
You're never going to get it right again?
You've been trying to derail me ever since.
I don't need to try to derail you. I just derail you. God, that was a headshot. I'm excited for this week. These are old friends that we have on.
Yeah, this is from back in the Railhouse
Can
days.
Actually, R.I.P. and peace of Railhouse. I want to clear the air with Ryan from the Vaughns because I'm probably not going to be here for the interview. There's one time we were at the J House and I was running the door and I was very drunk.
You're not going to be here for the interview?
Well, they're going to sit down. I don't want to take up space. So I'm running door at the J House, and the Vaughns are playing. And at the end of the night, Ryan walks up, and I go, "Hey man, it's $5 to get in." And Ryan goes, "I'm in the Vaughns." And I go, "Oh, sorry man." And he goes, "We've played together a few times now, Chris." And then walks on. And to this day, I still feel bad about that. So
I don't remember that.
I know, but I do, man. That's how my brain works.
Here, Ryan, have a Nestle.
Have a crunch. We're gonna knock over one of these cameras
I thought you were goofing on them.
No, I was not.
Hey man, $5 to get in.
No, I really I was drunk and running the door at the J House, which is kind of a requirement to have run the door at the J House.
The J House.
And I tried to not let one of the players in because I just I'm a dick. Anyway, how was your weekend?
It was fine.
What'd you do?
Thanks for asking. I saw First Man.
How was?
Fantastic.
Was Ryan Gosling doing the whole "I'm a robot" thing still?
Well, he did because Neil Armstrong did the whole "I am a robot" thing.
Perfect casting for him. That and Blade Runner, where he literally played a robot, his best roles.
Well, the guy who played Buzz Aldrin was, and he only actually said 5 or 10 lines. And
one of them was "To Infinity and Beyond."
I don't actually know the actor. I know him as Peter Russo from House of Cards.
Oh, I know that guy. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but I mean, he looked like him. He kind of had that, because Buzz Aldrin's kind of a wacky dude.
Yeah.
Neil Armstrong was very stoic, very greatest generation.
Yeah.
Buzz Aldrin's been married 3 times. He's 1,000 years old.
Crazy alcoholic.
Yeah, still knocks him back like he's 30.
What do you think? How far in advance do you think Neil Armstrong, or did they handle this in the movie? How far in advance did he think of the one small step for man thing? How?
They never. They don't.
Do you think he? But do you think he had that ready to go? Because that definitely wasn't off the top of his head. He's not that smooth.
I mean, he's pretty.
Do you think he bounced it off some
pretty
people?
Brilliant guy.
Was he? I don't know. I'm not going to see this movie. This is the first time we ever talked about a movie in theaters, so we're getting closer to being culturally relevant.
Okay.
I'm excited for that.
I'm sure he probably workshopped it. Maybe with his wife or with a couple of his buddies.
He sent it out to a couple of writer friends.
Yeah, who's around in the 60s?
Writers?
What did he send it to Kurt Vonnegut?
Yeah.
Hey man, I got this idea.
And Vonnegut's make it weirder. He sent it to Python and got no word back. That was the best joke I'll have tonight.
Wow, yeah.
All right. Anyway.
How was your weekend? You were the Doors.
I was the Doors. I was all of them at once.
Yeah.
I played bass for a band
that
had no bass player. It was a good time. It was fun. My lead singer wore a wig.
I saw.
Was shirtless, so he was having a great time.
I bet he was.
I think you can see in the pictures, it's just kind of resolve that I'm playing bass for the Doors.
That your facial expression and occasionally Fern's facial. There were a couple moments where I caught you guys in just very stone faced.
Very stone. We were trying to let Joey writhe around on stage.
Yeah.
While we were
be the changeling.
Yeah.
See him change.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
That's a The Doors song.
Sure. Here's the thing about The Doors for me, and this is gonna be long, so sit in. We're canceling the guests. those bands back then, like the Doors, the Who, all them, they had to be so big because no one had ever done that before.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, like the Doors are kind of silly just because like. The fuck are they talking about?
Well, yeah, they
and
are.
What is
silly.
he doing? But back then, like, it must have been world changing to see this guy.
But even, I mean, even you think about, say, the other example you used, the Who, right? They were kind of silly until like 1970, and then they got very serious. But Pete Townshend's just a better songwriter.
Yeah, they evolved.
So
Like, even Led Zeppelin, like. Back then, like, it must have been the most mind-blowing thing in the world to, like, hear rock and roll songs about Lord of the Rings. And now we're just, like, the Decemberists, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, it never, I don't know. This is weird thing I'm coming to terms with as I worked on the set.
It's the normalization of something that, was very impressive at one point, and
now we're just kind of...
we almost take it for granted.
Yeah. I certainly do not take the Doors for granted.
Well, when was the last time, though, that somebody like Jim Morrison... came around and really captivated people.
We actually
Kurt
have
Cobain.
them as our first guest, the next Jim Morrison. No, not
Jack Linden of Karma Gambit?
Yeah, I would say he's the next Jim Morrison.
I wrote a different intro.
Okay, then let's get that intro instead.
Are we doing this?
I don't know.
Are you help clean up the couch a little bit?
No, he's good. He can make do.
You're gonna sit on the candy?
I'll sit on the candy.
All right, let's do it. His band Karma Gambit just released its debut entitled "This Is Probably a Mistake," but let's welcome Jack Linden. How are you? That's a good handshake right there. That's a good. That's a nice. Did you learn that, or was that just born in you?
He went to handshake class.
Yeah. Well, no, because you get taught certain things, right?
Yeah.
And I remember, my dad. I remember I shook his hand once, and I just kind of gave him the dead fit. I'm like 8 years old.
You've got a good grip though now.
And he's like, "This is how you shake hands, son." And I was taught.
So you went to handshake
how
school.
to essentially the Jerry school of handshakes.
I like that you didn't reveal your actual last name.
Boom.
I'm on you.
Jerry.
The mystery remains.
That's all right. I mean, just ask, I'll tell you. But thanks for coming. I know you don't usually make solo appearances, so I appreciate you, or at least your management, kind of untangling that web for us.
Yes. I should get. Yeah. No, nothing you said is wrong. I'm not really like a solo person per se, but which is funny because this is essentially a solo project in all but name. But so I should probably get used to that. But
well, I mean, at least thanks for coming and doing this for us.
Oh, thank you.
So,
thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course, our pleasure. So this is the part where we talk about Rose Boulevard a little bit. That's obviously the band you kind of came from. And before we hit the new stuff, which I want to talk about a lot because you just put a record out, inside of a month at this point. So, but Rose Boulevard, it kind of had that steady progression over the course of a couple of years. How disappointing was it to have that end, and with it, that momentum end?
It was very, very strange and very surreal because I don't think it really hit me at the time. At the time, it was just like, okay, well, we're not playing shows, So for a couple of months, it was just kind of like, well, we're not playing shows.
Looking at Chris, because Chris was a part of Rose Boulevard
That's where we cut our chops, as they say.
Cut our teeth.
Yeah, I don't listen. I'm not here for idioms.
Cut our jib.
Cut our jib.
I don't think that's what jibs do, but sure.
This is not jib talk, okay?
I don't know.
I think
Low energy
jibs are on the ships, right?
Yeah, it's the thing. It's like on a yacht.
Yeah, Jeff, if you want to call it.
Yeah, can we get Jeff Linden on the horn, our resident ship expert?
Is he? Oh yeah, he's a
pirate.
A shipman, a
Yeah.
midshipman.
Yeah, he's and he played the banjo and the keyboards
and harmonica.
And Rose Boulevard. Yeah.
And Rose Boulevard. He was a busy boy in that band.
Well, Rose Boulevard. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's good. I'm curious what you have
to
say.
Oh, no, I was just going to, because we've talked about this privately, but now we get to say it in public. I've said to you before, to me, Rose Boulevard was like a minor league baseball team or something, because every single person went on and did other things. your drummer Pete, obviously Chris. Now you've got your brother Jeff. Jess isn't doing a band, but she's doing drama and theater. Who am I missing? Johnny, right? Johnny Cola, who's like the best keyboard player anybody's ever seen. So I mean, you had all these people that just elevated themselves, kind of still like during and then obviously after. Does that at least, to you, kind of seeing that talent all come up and find new places to sort of fit, does that validate it a little bit more for you, or maybe in a little bit of a different way, than just like making the records?
Yeah, no, it's cool to see. It's like I got to see Pete for the first time in a little while at our release show because he's playing in the Extensions.
Never heard of him.
And it was cool to see that he's, he loves what he's doing. Obviously, Johnny Cole loves what he's doing. Jeff has his own things and singles, and
he still helps you out too.
Yeah, he lends a helping hand. Obviously, the Burns are
huge,
tearing up the.
They're being the Doors.
The Asbury, yeah. But no, it's good to see everybody still doing stuff, and that it was more of you could look at it more of a beginning as opposed to an end.
Okay. And you had a couple starts and stops before finally, coming back around with Karma Gambit. What did you learn during that downtime?
I learned that there is such a thing as writing a song that's too serious.
Okay. No,
and
that's
there was a little too much navel gazing going on.
I think we heard off camera. I think we heard someone from the Vaughns is going, mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Right. Oh, it was Anna. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not that like obviously we all love songs that make us cry. We all have our go-to
big emo hearts.
Yeah, exactly. And then there is a point where you're just kind of wallowing in your own filth, and you're just kind of like, am I even getting better? Is this making anybody feel good? Is this making me feel good? Or am I just really writing sad song after sad song and it's not really going anywhere? And that was sort of what I was doing.
So when did that start to turn?
It turned on one of those great shows where like nobody comes and then you're playing for the bartender.
Yeah.
And so it was
many of those.
Yeah, and then the other guitarist in this other band that I did briefly didn't show up. So it was like 3 of the 4 members playing for the bartenders and our girlfriends at the time.
Oh.
And that was just like that was at the Saint.
I was there.
Okay, and Chris.
Yeah.
And Chris and Joey was there too. So like five people and the bartenders.
Yeah, like Monday night at the Saint.
And then
brutal.
with like no lead guitar. So just
you can go up there and just shred.
Yeah. Everybody knows I have that shredding ability. I really rocked that.
Big
G
Steve
chord.
Vai.
Yeah.
Big Steve Vai guy. Big Ingve guy.
Well, I mean, you're the only person I know with a scalloped Epiphone Casino.
Scallop.
I know you'd enjoy that joke. Guitar nerd.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Wait, I don't remember what I was saying. Yeah,
Well,
and then
so
after that, I was like, okay, this is incredibly depressing, and if you have those depressing shows, you still need to, you kind of, I think, realize how much fun you're actually having with the band, because all it is just playing with the band. Yeah. Do I like playing with these people? Do I like playing these songs? I liked the people I was playing with. Didn't really like the songs.
Okay.
And I kind of realized I needed to start over and just kind of completely turn the dial.
Yeah, and how long did that shuffle take? And when did you come up with the new name? When did you start to kind of come out of that idea of like navel gazing? Almost, you think about it like writing like for therapeutic purposes. When did that end, or how much time between say that Saint show when it ostensibly ended, I suppose, and you kind of coming up with the idea for Karma Gambit and saying this is actually what I want to put out there?
It was, I kind of dissolved that other band, and then was just kind of writing. It was the when all those, well, they're still kind of happening, but when all the hurricanes were like really happening in like 2017.
Yeah.
There was the Puerto Rico one, and I'm sorry, I'm bad with hurricane names, but
Maria, Harvey, and
the band Scorpion.
yeah, because Harvey had also happened. That was that. It wasn't bad. And then so I was writing a song, and then I wrote down the lyric, and it ends, and it's on the record. Is kind of where this record is kind of where it started. But I had the line, "God forbid I ever hold myself accountable," and then I was writing about the hurricane, or like while it was raining, and I was like reading about hurricanes, and I wrote the line because I couldn't think of anything that rhymed. I wrote, "The world is flooding, and I'm feeling pretty drownable," and I was like, that's kind of a silly line, and it's not a word, and it's kind of funny, or to me it was funny. I was like, am I allowed to make a joke in a song? Am I allowed to be? Is it allowed to be a little bit lighter?
That's like a McCartney thing right there.
And then once I realized, I was like, oh, I don't have to take this deathly serious. Like I can have a little bit of fun. I can throw in a Game of Thrones pun, and maybe nobody will enjoy it or even get it, but I will. And that's kind of where this, I don't know if anybody actually enjoys it, but I knew that if I enjoyed it, I would be able to keep playing shows.
I mean, we were there for the release show, and I mean, you guys you guys like cooked, man. Like it was great.
Thank you.
I mean, it was fantastic. It was almost like I wish that show was recorded, because there was just so much energy, and you could tell it was palpable that there was I think toward the end of Rose Boulevard, it, at least when I saw you guys, it seemed like something that was, all right, here's our set. And there was like a palpable joy. And even the fact that, you didn't really play, you kind of opted to not go out and do the solo thing and just say, yeah, I'll play here, I'll play there by myself until I get something else, together. It almost felt like this, to me, watching felt like this, kind of reappearance. I'm like, oh shit, like we missed having this voice around and like playing out regularly, and it was really great.
Thank you.
To see that back, and not just to see it back like playing the set list, because I mean Rose was great, but to see it playing in such like an impassioned way, and projecting that to others. And I wanted to make sure I told you that.
Thank you.
Because I don't think I got to really articulate that as much as I would have liked to that night.
That's really nice to hear. That whole show was, I don't know. I don't know if it could have gone any better, honestly, which is, you almost never say that about a show, pretty much.
Yeah, and also
it's
you never say that.
I
ever,
never say
so
that. Yeah,
that's how you know it's good.
Oh, I mean, except for the Doors show. I mean, that couldn't have gone any better.
It could have been a lot shorter. It could have been like 2 minutes. We could have walked on, done Riders, and then walked off.
Okay, that's true.
The 2-minute version of Riders.
That's the thing.
The single for the 45.
We did 30 seconds of the end, which is my proudest moment of that set.
Excellent.
Anyway.
When did you play it?
What?
So when did you play?
Second to last. Yeah, right. I don't know, Jack. I just feel like amongst all the songwriters I know, and I feel like I've known you as a songwriter the longest, and I've seen you develop. There's a line that I always hold on to from like the early Rose Boulevard days, which is this line: "I'm half inside this world, half inside my head." And I feel like you're amongst anyone else. Like I can feel the real you trying to push out through songs. And Karma Gambit lyrically feels like that's like you really finding out how to actually speak what you're thinking, which is special because I know you've been trying to do that for as long as I've seen you.
Thank you.
Write songs.
Thank you. I think that's sort of why I said I don't know if anybody will like it, because I'm like, this is definitely the most me that I've been, and
yeah. I don't
know if anybody actually wants all of that.
Yeah, but even even the name of the album has that to it. Like
yeah.
This notion of like this is kind of just for me, but here it is, which I really like.
But don't those things tend to resonate more? Don't you find, am I wrong? Like, do you find that those things more a band that's gonna, just do what it does versus do a thing.
Well, I mean,
If that makes sense, like say, oh, we're gonna play like angry rock and roll music or angry emo music, or I'm just gonna write songs and we're gonna see how they fall into place.
I see what you're saying. I don't know. Well,
And it
obviously
feels
the
like
guy should answer.
No, I mean.
Well, I mean,
curious
I
what
just
you
think
answered.
it's an interesting. You're talking about it earlier. It's like that when you're writing songs, you're writing for yourself in theory, and like you're hoping that people around you get it, and like that is when music is the best. I think when you're writing truth to yourself, but it does come that fine line of being so self-indulgent that you're 9 Inch Nails, and who the fuck wants to listen to it? You know what I mean?
But I
Where it's
feel like Jack, you had that realization.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was that midpoint where you were like, oh yeah, no, I don't wanna do that.
Yeah.
By the way, I like that this is a chat show and we're all chatting. This is wonderful.
Okay, now let's argue about the Arctic
Okay.
Monkeys.
Oh my god! Don't get me started.
We got into a fucking fight in New Hope about it. and
We're allowed to. Are we allowed to curse?
Yeah.
You fuck you, Brian.
Can I tell you, like 3 weeks
our
later?
Arctic Monkeys.
So Brian shit talked the Arctic Monkeys in New Hope when we were all there, and like
Wow.
3 weeks later, I'm hanging out with Jack, and he just looks up and goes, "How can Brian say the Arctic Monkeys are overrated?" I'm like, Brian doesn't remember saying that.
Yeah.
Which again, back to half inside this world, half inside your head.
Yeah.
Pretty
Hold
fine
on to
example.
things.
Nobody has ever directly like just cursed
made
me
fun.
like that.
Well, nobody has ever directly challenged me on Arctic
On
Monkeys.
the
I don't
Arctic
think.
Wow, I'm very
think so.
surprised.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think people. No,
I think
like
they do. I don't think.
Yeah,
they
I don't
wanna
think people
see
like
my
the Arctic
reaction.
Monkeys that much.
Do you like the Arctic Monkeys that much?
Yeah, how many Arctic Monkeys super fans
It's
are out
Jack
there?
and Alex Turner.
And Adam Bird also.
Is
'Cause
A Bird a big Arctic Monkeys fan?
He sent me a thing about he texted me about their new record, and he's like, it's like an epic moon space opera, like an astro space opera.
Yeah, it's the soundtrack to First Man.
And
It is.
I sent him back a picture of Astro Lounge by Smash Mouth, and I'm like, no, man, rock and roll did this 20 years ago already.
I mean,
And you want to know something?
What?
Posted it to Instagram. Smash Mouth liked it.
Yes.
did they-
So you are.
and that's
hey,
how
now,
and that's now we're
You're an all-star.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Game on.
This is anyway.
So writing songs.
Do you find
No,
it hard
it
to
was
not write songs with a Cockney accent?
Well, he's from Yorkshire.
Listen.
But anyway, Sheffield.
Like you've been to Yorkshire.
I didn't say I've been to Yorkshire.
Yeah,
I said
but
that's
I mean,
where
you
he has
said
a
you're like,
Yorkshire
oh, he's
accent.
from
He's from
Yorkshire.
So this
Sheffield.
new album is
He's from
called.
Sheffield. Anyway. Okay. No, so we're talking about writing for yourself or
Yes,
writing,
please.
which actually, if we want to connect the dots here, the first Arctic Monkeys album is very specific and just about going out to like bars when you're underage,
Yeah.
and like that became huge.
Yeah,
so
just being a drunken idiot.
like,
and it's an amazing fucking record.
you know yes, there is, I think, universality in specificity. I think sometimes the details, I believe that was a Jason Isbell quote, but the more details you put into it, the more people can actually relate to it, because if you're just kind of saying the most basic general things, who's going to really connect to that? Because you've heard it before in songs, so you're not going to connect to it.
Yeah.
Because we've heard the, tearing me apart, breaking my heart thing. You're not going to be like, oh, wow, yeah.
I feel that.
I really
but-
did get my heart broken. Like, you need to put in the detail that somebody's going to be like, wow, that.
Yeah, makes
that
it. If you
connected
make
with
it
me.
true to yourself, people will pick up on that. Very much, yes.
What do you wish you were better at?
Coming up with fast interview answers. Boom. I wish I was a more consistent live singer. If we're gonna just.
Oh, boo-hoo. You're fantastic, man. Stop it.
Well, Brian, it's funny you should say I wish that show was filmed, because it was filmed, but no, there's
not
a
so good?
reason. There's a reason why it's not bad. It's not bad, but there was it was a lineup that was basically for one show only.
Okay.
And there were mistakes, and some of those mistakes were mine. So,
First show, though. You got,
it may or may not at some point. It's in the vault. At some point,
One day for
there
the
may
box
be
set.
a song or two that, gets out there. But no, I just consistency in live performance in general. You go and see, even you don't even have to point to national acts. Some local bands that you go to see, they're amazing every single time.
Yeah.
I saw Levy and the Oaks a couple weeks ago, and they're just perfect every time.
Well, that's because they have Nick Ryan in the band, and
Yeah.
he's like a secret.
He's the
like
newer
everybody.
guitarist, right?
Yeah. I mean, well, they're all. I mean,
Yeah,
let's
they're-
be honest. All 5 of them
Yeah.
are just dynamite.
That's the powerhouse of a band.
Yeah, they're great. Jack, this has been a pleasure, and we're gonna get to hear you finally do a
solo
rare solo performance.
Thank you
so much for
having
coming.
me.
Thanks, Jack.
Jack Linden, everybody.
Jack Linden. Everybody. Jack Linden, the Vaughns. One More, sponsored by You Don't Know Jersey. Founded in 2010 by Alice and Ed Maziak, You Don't Know Jersey has been covering all the best music, food, sports, arts, and cultural events that the Garden State has to offer for nearly a decade. Hey, Brian, while
Yes.
eavesdropping in on a recent phone conversation of yours, I heard you asking where to find the most pious house of worship in West Milford.
Wow, how did you know?
Just ask and ye shall receive. Hey, Dave and or Tom of the Vaughns, there's not much of a difference. You want to find out where you can get the sharpest tuxedo in Tinton Falls? Like on the level of Jackie Chan War in his acclaimed 2002 action comedy, The Tuxedo, directed by Kevin Donovan, a 5-bagger film? Just say yes. Whether you're in High Point, Cape May, or anywhere in between, check YouDon'tKnowJersey.com for all the latest. You don't know Jersey, but they certainly do. That's not their slogan. Brian.
Get out of here. They're led.
I got you twice.
This is a. Their latest single. I'm so sorry, guys. This is not how this is supposed to go. Their latest single, Coffee Sunday, is available everywhere. Let us welcome the Vaughns. Hey, Anna, how are you? I like the two-hander right there. That's very. Oh wow. Hello. Oh, are we? Hey. All right. That's a very That's a very Clintonian handshake right there.
Yeah, you know. Is everyone in the room?
A lot of handshake talk. Hey, be quiet over there, Chris.
We're talking about this interview. How excited you are. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, you guys are sitting on the candy.
Oh, I got the best.
Can we eat these during the interview?
Yeah, man.
What's that?
The microphones.
So, all right. So January 2015, we're playing at this basement in New Brunswick, and it's what was that, banana stand, right?
Probably. Oh,
And
yeah.
and the hand reaches through the audience. It gets about like a foot from my face, and that was my introduction to the Vaughns.
Who was it? Was it me?
That was you.
Why did I do that?
I don't know, because we were playing and you just reached through, and I didn't even know what to do, so I just kind of it was a very slow
Awkward.
like that
pulling you in.
a real life slow motion kind of high five.
I think the only thing that I can think of that would explain that is you used to hit this high note in
Used to.
I want to say it was well, I mean, I'm sorry, I haven't seen it in a while, but like when we used to play together all the time, there was oh my god, it was my favorite song. I want to say Accident.
Oh, Cooking Up an Accident.
Cooking Up an
Yeah,
Accident, yeah. And you would hit this high
Never
note
heard
in
of
the
that song.
song, and it was the first time I'd ever seen you live, and you just did this beautiful falsetto that I was like, oh my god, who is this guy? And just all I could
Magical
do
Brian.
was just
Magical
reach
Brian.
my hand out in a weird slow motion to tell you that, I
was
respected
really
it.
though.
Like
I mean,
E.T. phone home.
It probably really that moment probably lasted all of 3 seconds, but in my mind and now in my memory, that was like 10 minutes long, right there. And we had seen you guys just play. I think like we were coming down since you guys maybe were like a song in, and I remember Frank, our drummer, like we were just fixated. We're like, who are these guys? Like what? Like why did we get here late? But yeah, I mean that's like I feel like there's such like a history there.
That's
I've
funny.
been like following you guys for a few years now,
Yeah.
and you started not that long before then either, right? Like 2014.
Mm-hmm.
You know, beginning, halfway through, somewhere along there, right?
Yeah.
In the middle.
In the middle, yeah. Beginning, end, I don't know. So when did you first feel like the band, or where did you first feel like the band started to take hold? Was it, back at the Rail House? Was it playing in the basements? Was it?
It's probably I feel like it was probably the basements.
Yeah?
Yeah. I feel like when we first started playing in New Brunswick, when there was like a real good scene over there, and we were playing shows where there were people there and they were getting into it, and there was like a whole network of people, and like you would see similar people at different shows, and they're like familiar faces, and everyone was like positive and happy, and it was new, and I felt like it was like the revival of the New Brunswick scene. I feel like is the time we were playing there, and it kind of just felt like it felt good to be like a new band playing that.
Like a new band as the scene is coming back around after how long.
Yeah, and there was just so many great bands that would inspire us, and we'd see someone and be like, oh, we want to be that good, and then we'd go to practice. And
Speaking of which, that night that we played with you in New Brunswick, I mean, you guys were amazing, but I remember, I think Goodbye Tiger was on the bill as well.
Yeah.
And I was blown away. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, like Centennials played.
Yeah,
too.
Centennials was on
That
the bill
was,
as well.
and what was it? Brittany's band, The Wolf Inside.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And that was their first show.
Right.
I
Yeah,
think.
it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
So
that.
that was a fun, man,
That was a good lineup.
That was a fun night.
right?
It was stacked, that bill.
We should just do that.
And
Just get a house.
Just rent one.
Get a house.
Do
Rent a house.
Airbnb.
Airbnb a house in New Brunswick
Throw a show.
and throw a show.
Has anybody
That'd be-
done that yet?
Not a
We should be
crazy
the
idea.
I like that idea.
Yeah, you'd probably make your money back.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Charge
For
like
sure.
$3 to get in. So you guys were all kind of, or most of you by and large come from musical families, right? That's yes, no. Some of you.
I mean, my dad always played guitar growing up, so there was always guitars in the house, and that was, I think, what like sparked my interest in it. He had like a cover band in high school and would write some songs. He has like a lot of romantic songs that he wrote my mom. I think the story is that there's like sometimes I find like old lyrics that he had written, and it's super
Man.
cute.
Did
Yeah.
he ever play these for you? Did you ever hear any of this
I
stuff?
think he might have played them when I was younger. I know that he made a tape for her when she was in college. She went away to school, and he sent her a tape, and they definitely like still exist. I bet he could play them if he asked. So.
That'd be awesome.
Oh man, we have to have him back.
We'll have him
we have
on.
to have not
Yeah.
have him back, like 'cause we've
Yeah.
had him on before. We have to have him here.
Yeah, he'll play.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, so he did that, which I think just made me, be interested and always wanted to see what the guitar thing was about.
Yeah, I mean, there's no underestimating an influence like that.
Yeah,
at
definitely.
such a young age, especially somebody that you're saying was writing songs.
Yeah.
Because some people are like, my dad like played the Beatles on guitar, and that's great. But then it's like, if they're writing songs, even if they're kind of like silly or you don't take them too
definitely.
seriously, that's
Yeah.
still something that. I feel like it emboldens that sense of creativity. Like, we can do this too. It's not just something that's on the radio or on the record shelf or something. It's like, we can do this also.
Exactly. It wasn't something that was, to me, that was what made me want to start playing guitar, was the writing, not so much, like, I never bothered to learn a lot of covers when I was younger, and it was because I just thought that's what you did. You wrote. I don't know.
So how did this all come together? A couple of you were like classmates in high school, right?
Technically, all of us.
Oh, yeah?
Technically.
Yeah, we were all in high school at some point together, right?
Yeah, so I'm the oldest by a year. Tom and Dave are the year below me, and Dave is 3 years below me, so 2 years below them.
Dude, you missed
Davis,
me.
you said Tom and David.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you're like Tom and Dave.
times.
You're
Yeah, so there's
below,
no
then
Anna, it's
Dave's-
just
yeah.
2 Daves, 2 Toms.
Daves,
Yeah.
okay,
What's the
gotcha.
difference between Tom and Dave anyway?
Yeah, who knows?
It's very
Clearly
hard.
I'm in
It's
there.
a little easier to tell apart now, but I remember like a few years ago. I mean, it kind of was this thing. It's like, oh yeah, the band with the two brothers.
From a distance.
I think I'm
Yeah.
close also, honestly.
It's the
good
nose.
thing.
It's that Roman nose.
Yeah.
is.
Oh, I mean, you don't have to tell me. Trust me. That's the glasses hide it a bit. But,
Yeah, they distract.
yeah.
Bring them all the way forward.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right.
So straight, Grandpa.
Your age is officially showing.
Well, no, but that's not how I actually do that.
Give it a year or two.
No, that happens way later.
You should get a monocle.
It's like, like, what am I, a Roosevelt? Like,
Roosevelt.
either a Roosevelt or like Mr. Peanut.
I would love it.
I mean, honestly, let's be serious. I mean, for you guys, if that helped further this relationship in any way, the next time we see each other, I'll have a monocle.
I love this.
Like, I mean, let's just be honest here. So, who came up with the name the Vaughns? Because it's a great name.
I think it was just a collective thing. We were just running through names because we needed a name for a show. We were playing a show, and then the Vaughns, it just kind of fell into place. It felt good. There wasn't any science behind it, and I think it just reminded us of kind of like the 60s, 50s type vibe that we liked.
Well, and even your logo too with the pastels too, it looks very.
Yeah, Ryan's mom put that together for us like at one of our first practices, I think. So.
Wow.
She killed it.
Yeah.
The
logo.
Absolutely
Yeah.
killed it.
It's important, branding, all that. So it's fell into place.
I gotta get my mom to do something. Like that. Like, come on, Joyce. Like, get on that. Let's
At least get you a monocle.
What's that?
At least get you a monocle.
Yeah. Please. So who takes care of the business end of things? Who's working the phones?
You know,
for
at
the
this
Vaughns?
point, we're pretty good at as a team at this point.
How do you dole it out?
It's whoever has the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
At
that's
this
just
point,
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's everyone's been kicking butt the
Yeah.
last couple months and getting stuff done, but we used to divide the jobs a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, people did different jobs, but now it's kind of like whoever wants to take lead on whatever we're doing, so it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously it's been a couple years since you all started, and in that time, the quality of your music, the quality of your performance has increased, like right in line with the quality of the shows that you get asked to play, also, and and along with like the level of recognition that you've received generally, just as a band, like everything has seemed to kind of line up together. And first I wanted to say, that's like very rare that all of those things happen seemingly together. And what helps you keep that in perspective?
Ooh, that's a tough question.
Like, is
I
there
think
is
that
there a
is.
self-awareness? Like, you're
Oh, yeah.
aware that, like, hey, these things are all happening?
Yeah, I would say so. I don't want to speak for everyone.
No,
but
yeah. I think that we generally really love the idea of like working hard to get better. I
Yeah.
think that what has made us, what's gotten us where we are today, wherever we are, from the basements to playing bigger shows now, it's our practices. Like, I think we've all at this point had some experience of like going into practices with other bands through various joking projects and stuff, and like we all always come back with such different stories, and it's, I don't know, when we walk into practice, it is like 2 hours nonstop drilling. Like, we work really hard, and everyone works hard, like, whatever. But I think that even we played a show last week, and it was probably fine. It was totally fine. And afterwards, all we did was talk about all the ways we could have been better and how we can get better. And we do that after every show, whether it's great or bad. And I think it's that
That's
sort
like
of work
the
ethic.
post-game,
and it's kind of because I think we love to practice. Like, we generally have the best time when it's just the four of us in a shitty little room, just goofing off, but also like getting shit done. So I think that it's just that love of being in that space together.
Yeah.
That's allowed us to just continue to grow and get better at writing and get better at performing, because for whatever reason we all have fun when we do it. Like, we're messed up, I guess.
No, not at all. Now, how has your label, Sniffling Indie Kids, what have they done to kind of help expose the band and push you guys even further along?
So, well, we just actually put this really cool showcase that Sniffling Indie Kids put together with a couple other labels that I should remember the names of on the top of my head.
Mid
Mid-
400,
yeah,
they're
yeah.
great.
Yeah, and it was at White Eagle Hall in Jersey City, which we've never played at before.
Yeah,
and
the
it was just
indie
like-
festival.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yep.
It was so cool. They put us together with, when you play in a band in the same kind of scene, you see a lot of the same bands, but I think most of the bands we played with that night we've never played or seen before, and I think it was kind of like just like a really good networking situation for us, where we just met a lot of people that we don't know that play different scenes and different musicians,
We
different
also
questions.
got to go to the Golden Cicada for the first time.
Oh,
I
yeah?
got the necklace.
You ever been?
No.
Oh, man. Right.
Is that something?
Ryan.
Oh wow! All right.
Let me tell you. Okay, this place
Yeah,
is like
please do. We
this
got
place
time.
is like a. Well, okay. His friends who live in Jersey City kept saying, "You guys gotta come to Golden Cicada. You do this crazy shot, you get a necklace." We're like, "What the heck?" Whatever. We finish a set, we go, and it's a little dive bar. You would not expect anything. When I got there, it was literally just our group, no one else. So we like own the place, but it's a karaoke bar. But there's no stage. They just literally have a big TV where they look it up on YouTube and pass around this shitty mic that like barely
wow.
works. And we owned it because it was this little, we owned it, but it was just our group. So we were all let loose and singing and dancing and screaming. We had like band karaoke battle.
Creed.
They did Creed.
Creed?
Me and
Yeah.
Dave
Oh,
did.
of course.
We did a little Smash
Yeah,
Mouth.
we
We
did
did.
You have
Yeah.
to. You have to do
But
something.
like, I don't know. It was just a blast. Golden Cicada, highly
Golden
recommend.
Cicada. Chris and I are gonna go next week.
You really should.
You guys should go tonight after this.
Let's just go right now.
Yeah.
Traveling an hour and a half to Jersey
Yeah.
City. Yeah, no problem.
Hour, no
Yeah.
problem.
I gotta play Red Dead Redemption.
So in the past year and a half, you've dropped 4 digital singles, a vinyl single, and a CD EP, all related to this sort of nebulous, like, forthcoming album.
No such thing.
No? No record, just a single? I mean,
Doesn't
well, the
exist.
singles are wonderful, but when do we get to hear the record, guys? It's been a minute.
Spring.
Yeah?
We're hoping.
I think
really?
that's what you
19.
said, though. We sat down around this time last year.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you said
That's what we
spring.
said. Hopefully
We'll
it's
talk
real
next
this
year,
time.
too.
Like I could check the article
We'll let
to
you know
make
next
sure,
year.
but
We gotta finish writing the songs first.
is that all?
No, it's this spring. We can confirm
Okay.
Yeah.
this spring.
Okay.
It's like
I was
really happening for
I was
once.
really kind of like in the back of my mind, like crossing my fingers. You'd be like, "Well, funny you should ask." And then just like whip out a copy, like it's Christmas morning, and just gift one to me. But that obviously didn't
He's
happen.
asking for a copy of the
Yeah.
I would love one.
Do you want a Butterfinger?
What's that?
Butterfinger?
Yeah, I'll take one.
Behind you guys.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
There is salsa back there, isn't there?
Oh, that's right. Silly me.
Are we all right? Because I have serious questions here.
Oh, okay.
Are we
No,
doing
no, no,
this?
no, no,
oh, we're
I'm-
totally
No, do
doing
it.
Serious
With
stuff.
hot sauce.
I'm ready for whatever.
We're doing it. You're
both.
doing it.
I'm down for anything,
Is there
man.
salsa too? I don't know.
What's that? I brought a bag too.
Oh,
Just
okay,
five
okay.
extras.
I'm good.
Okay, so what's your expectation of the record?
Dave, go.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I'm hoping.
What happened? I don't trust you.
Take that off.
I'm so thrown. They fuck with me too much. You guys have no idea.
That's all right. I mean, well, that
Wait,
must be
your
what it's
face is
like.
red.
So funny.
What is that?
Ryan's the one who does most of the fuckery.
I mean,
that's
you're
the-
fine from where I'm sitting. You're fine. Like, there's nothing back there.
Is there,
I
like-
think he's just looking at you weird.
No, you're good.
You're fine.
You're good.
You're good.
Chris, would you like to referee this just to make sure, like she's all right?
Did you want to try?
Thank you. I'm taking care of it. I'm doing this right now.
Wait.
What are you doing?
This is what's happening.
Can you at least get on camera? Oh, where am I? Where's my camera?
Oh, is he hot sauce challenging?
He's hot
Is this,
sauce
like,
challenging.
super
Wait, I thought that
No,
Ryan
it's not
like
too
threw a
bad.
chip at me or something.
I don't think so.
No, I told Dave to answer the
Speaking of
question,
hot,
and then you started talking.
Yeah.
Fuck your hot sauce.
Funky.
That's all.
Sorry.
Maple
All
Sorry.
Maple stout.
That's okay. No, I was asking what. So when the record finally comes, like what sort of reasonable level of expectation do you have for it?
Honestly, like,
Yeah.
personally, I don't have like a lot in my head of like, oh, this is what has to happen type thing. All I know is that like, I'm proud of the like I think we're all proud of the record, the way it was captured and produced, and I think we've been like working with the right people. Like we
Yeah.
have a plan lined out and just hope for the best. I mean, like a lot of people, especially like the Asbury Park community has like shown like a ton of interest. Like people keep asking about it, which is awesome. So hopefully it's a good response.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
That's
sure
we're just
it
hoping
will
for the
be.
best, I guess. I'm not gonna say,
Yeah.
oh, it's gonna
I mean, if the singles are
this.
any indication, then this is, I can't imagine there would be just a complete drop off the table
Yeah.
from these excellent 4 songs to, whatever else you guys have. So
Thanks.
I'm sure it's going to be great.
Thank you.
Does the momentum that the band generates make anyone nervous at all? Like, that this gets to a point where it forces a change sort of upon you?
I think we've sort of been, I mean, it's a little, I don't know, you never know what's going to happen. Life is freaking scary all the time. But,
Yeah.
I think that we've been sort of preparing, I think, for some changes. I think we've had a couple changes in the past year or so that have changed the way we're looking at this. And it's, I don't know.
I feel like it's less nervous and more like anxious.
Yeah.
We're like ready to make some
Ready
steps
to kind
forward.
of,
Yeah.
And like just planning it out.
Now, I interviewed, I interviewed you all about a year ago. We talked about it before, and I mentioned like just the general goals as a group. And I know, Ryan, you said specifically that you'd like to, be able to look back and at some point in your life have done nothing but make music for a living, even if it was just for a short time. And that was just as you were kind of signing this record deal, just as like the record was, not quite getting started. I think you already had one of the singles out, but things were just starting to move. What has changed between then and now as you've, to kind of piggyback off that, you said a few things have started to change that have, maybe prepared you or made you a little more anxious to start moving faster. So what's changed from the last time we sat down?
I mean, I could start with like the most simple thing, but one of the cool things that we've done since we've started as a band is we've gone to every single show together. So Anna had this great minivan. I know this is like not the level of whatever topic that is like really interesting, but we had a van.
No, please.
We had a van that we used to go to the shows together, and it was really great because we would go and like we would hang it on the way there and on the way back. And recently the van is not around anymore, so kind of like our transportation has changed, and there's just like all these added difficulties that like I guess they're not really that big of a deal like on the grand scheme of things, but they make things a little bit more complicated. And just transportation to gigs is just like it's just a whole different
selling
problem.
a van.
Yeah, so if anyone has a
Shoot
van,
us an email.
Don't be afraid.
So I have one more question for you, and then we'll let you go. What do other bands have that you want? Yeah, I know. I try
Honestly,
to those last questions are really
I think as a collective whole have like gotten to a point, especially with these last few singles, where like the songwriting we've got to as collectively has just been at a point where I'm happy. So like as that is like as good as it is, like I can't say that like another band like I want that, like because I think the most important thing at the end of the day is making great music. So I think we do. So I don't know, that's hard. That's why that's why I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I feel like my only answer to be that is like better songs. Like to me, it's just like you're always trying to be a better songwriter, and like the career stuff is gonna come and it's gonna go, and maybe some people get lucky, some people don't. Who the hell knows how this happens? But like at the end of the day, we do this because we love each other and we have fun as we do it, and we love the music we make, and like I think all of us enjoy writing and songwriting together, and we just want to be better writers. Like you just keep writing because you want to write that song that connects to all these people, and you keep trial and error writing songs until you figure it out, I guess.
The other thing I also say in all our interviews too is just I think the healthy relationship with writing, with how we all come with our own songs and ideas, and then we all let each other revise them and change them, and everyone's open to that.
Yeah.
So I think that free flow of ideas between all of us, and all of us bringing like ideas to the table, is also a thing that I'm proud of, because we can say we took all that and then we focused it into a record that we feel, and I know we can do it again.
Yeah, and it's not just my record, it's not just his record, it's not just him on the record, it's not just him, it's it's the Vaughns. It's all four of us together, and you hear all of us in it, which I think is cool.
And just one thing, I'll just like piggybacking off of like what you guys are saying is like it's not even like stuff that we want. I would say it's more of stuff that like inspires us to keep working hard. Like they were saying the writing, or like we want to tour a little bit more and stuff like that.
Definitely.
It's more of like inspiring. Just like cool because there's so many like bands who are doing like so many amazing things right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, excellent. That's a great answer, and I
you.
can't wait. We're going to hear some of this great new music in a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
The Vaughns, everybody. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I want some salsa.
You guys are first, right? Is that what's going on?
No, I think Jack's up first. I'm taking.
Oh, there you go. So Jack, you are first.
Hi guys, we're figuring this out as we go along. Yeah, let me get some more of that hot sauce. That was really good. This week's episode of OneMore is brought to you by the Asbury Park Music Foundation. The APMF, or AMP, if you're feeling frisky, raises money to support youth music programs throughout Asbury Park to provide lasting skills, self-confidence, and life-changing experiences for underserved kids in our community. This includes funding for the Hip Hop Institute at the Boys and Girls Club of Monmouth, in-school music programs at the Hope Academy, and scholarships for kids to attend the Lake House Music Academy, located right over there. APMF also sponsors events such as Suburbia Friday Nights, which brings a mix of hip-hop and rock on the first Friday of every month. November 2nd, Jazz Coexists, Catherine Quintana, Bindi Leibowitz, and the comedy of Allie Mae. If you're interested in keeping Asbury Park's legacy of music alive by making a meaningful difference for the underserved youth in our community, head over to Asbury Park Music Lives or AsburyParkMusicLives.org to make a donation. How's it going, Nash? And while you're there, pick up a Music Saved My Life. Pick up a Music Saved Asbury Park t-shirt. All proceeds make it possible to support Music Saved My Life youth program. Jim, as always, thank you so very much for letting us do this every week. And we finally figured out how to turn the heat on. And they're almost there. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to introduce the only band that makes me want polygamy to be legal so I can marry each and every one of them, including Tom, the Vaughns.
The sun is better day to grab a cup of joe. Read our latest favorites at our favorite cafe. Oh, our seats are in the corner underneath the marked up and folded. just about it. Oh, and I'm not crying, but babe, I'm not just about it. Your heart, it seems a little too crowded, and I'm not crying. Oh no. Your heart, it seems a little too crowded, but I'm not crying loud. Oh no, no. Your heart, it seems a little too crowded. I'm not crying loud. I feel the hot sauce hitting my throat.
Strong.
Oh, stare into my eyes one more time. 'Cause oh, you've been tearing up my mind like all the time. Picture me and you, grab me by the hand and say, darling, how you been? Trying not to think about you. Yeah. Grab me by the hand and say, darling, how you been? Trying not to think about you at all. Oh, I've been rolling like a Chevy off the half-life of our little day. Yeah. Ooh, you got me breaking out my shimmy and my two-step as I walk away. Get like me. Get like me, get like me, if you care at all. Sweetheart, I've been missing your face now, missing your smile. Ever since you came to the play, I've been thinking about you. I've been thinking about the way. Grab me by the hand and say, darling, how you been? Trying not to think about you. Grab me by the hand and say, darling, how you been? Trying not to think about you at all. Oh, I've been rolling like a Chevy off the half-life of our little day. Yeah. Ooh, you got me breaking out my shimmy and my two-step as I walk away. Get like me, get like me, get like me, if you care at all. Get like me, get like me, get like me, if you care at all. Oh, I've been rolling like a Chevy off the half-life of our little day. Ooh, you got me breaking out my shimmy and my two-step as I walk away. Oh, I've been rolling like a Chevy off the half-life of our little day. Ooh, you got me breaking out my two-step as I walk away. Get like me, get like me, get like me if you care at all. Get like me, get like me, get like me if you care at all.
Thanks.
Right.
But yeah. You want one more?
You're very kind.
What do you guys want to do?
It's like a mix between some. I don't think I could do it again. I don't think I could do it again.
Hell yes.
Easy does it, easy comes my love, love. Never loved him, no, no. But we had our fun. Yes, I'm a writer, I know my process is nonsense. Every story needs a plot and ends with a conflict. But oh, we fought like hell broke on those. It's love, Santa Cruz. Don't need the seasons I've got. Easy come here, easy comes my love. Never loved her, no, no. But we had our fun, fun. Yes, I'm a writer, I know my process is nonsense. Story needs a plot and ends in a conflict. Oh, we fuck like hell broke on loose. It's love, Santa Cruz. Give me peace and harmony.
The best you ever did see, including Tom. This week in events, Monday, October 29th, Happy Monday presents Suburban Sensei Thrill Ride Tri-State at the Wonder Bar, happening right now. Look at your phone and drive over. Matt Smith approves. Tuesday, October 30th, happy birthday, Julian Fulton, I love you. The Bushwick Hotel, Amanda Cross Band, White Bush Unicorn, Goddamn Levin the Oaks, our Coney Island baby at NYC at 7 p.m. Get a free tattoo. Deirdre Forrest, Sir Sherry, and Clint Newman at the downtown Red Bank at 8 p.m. Wednesday, October 31st, happy birthday, Ricky from YJY. Golly, I missed that band. I think I played their last show. Village Green, Puppy Grease, Ocean County College Band at the Brighton Bar at 7 p.m. The Ghosttober finale wraps up with Ben Resnick, Jake Resnick, and Devin Alana of Scout at the downtown at 8 p.m. Cool Dad presents The Rare Flowers, Mike from Yawnmower, and Roy motherfucking Orbitron at the Asbury Hotel at 8 p.m. Get spooky with Connor. He loves it. Thursday, November 1st, happy birthday, Ashley McKinley. Ash, I miss you. I'll see you at the end of Thanksgiving. Titus Andronicus is playing at the House of Independence. If you go to that, I'm sorry it turned out so bad for you. Friday, November 2nd, happy birthday, Christine Fiola of Dark City Entertainment. Thank you for letting us be the Doors. Brian Erickson, never heard of him, is playing 118 North in Wayne, PA. Where the fuck is Wayne, Pennsylvania? How did you get that gig? Did you lose a bet? Dead Bars, Erotic Novels, Groomers, Houston, and the Dirty Rats are at the AP Brewery at 7 p.m. Suburbia Friday nights at the Asbury Park Music Foundation right here at 7:30 p.m. Rocky Horror Halloween presented by Sir Sherry at the HOB Tavern at 8 p.m. The Hob Tavern, HOB Tavern's much cooler in my book. Sandy Mac's Silky Crazy Nights at Langosta Lounge at 9:30 p.m. Saturday, November 3rd, Shady Street Show Band at the Chubby Pickle in Atlantic Highlands. The Chubby Pickle, they have alcohol and shit like that. Vinny Karuna, Brendan Riley, Spirit Houses, and Joe Zori at the AP Brewery at 8 p.m. Aaron Incoherent, Above the Moon, Kate Darcy, LPT, and Desperate Living at the Pharmacy in Philadelphia at 8 p.m. Shout out to Kate Dressed Up. Good God. El Nordzo, Risk Relay, Adam Driver, and Rothenbeck are at Pino's at 8 p.m. And Sunday, November 4th, close out your weekend with Brunch on the Boards featuring Jesse Terry and Christine Mitchell at the Langosta Lounge at 1 p.m. Come get drunk at 1 p.m. at the Langosta Lounge. You got nothing better to do. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a me from an alternate universe where he's a little bit taller, a little bit handsomer, a much better singer, and golly, is he much more blonder, Jack Linden of Karma Gambit!
Counting sheep and hoping they don't bite. She's got a knight in shining horror by the window. We get a little low and she gets a little high. And somewhere Freddy's singing anyway the wind blows. It doesn't matter, I'm Picasso as hell. Thinking with my heart, my lips next to my blue eyes. And she is ruled by our connection as well. Her night is short for this world, short in general, yeah. He's gonna lose this fight. But she said, no, we know how this thing goes. And I said, no, I'll dodge the thorns, my rose. There's fire in our blood. There's fire in our blood. And I'm as desperate as a middle-aged man, grasping for attention with a sports car and a new wife. At least he's lasted that long, I'm a flash in the pan. People used to sing my songs, now I just wear my jeans too tight. She smoked a cigarette after we had sex, sat out on the porch and watched our dreams turn into smoke rings. The only bright sides were not today yet. I'm no scientist, but I know there's a cure for being lonely. She said, don't, we know how this thing goes. And I said, no, I'll dodge the thorns, my rose. There's fire in our blood. said, don't we know how this thing goes? And I said, no, I'll dodge the thorns, my rose. And she said, don't we know how this thing goes? And I said, no, I'll dodge the thorns, my rose. There's fire in our blood. Oh, there's fire in our blood. Oh, there's fire in our blood. Oh, there's fire in our blood. But I guess love wasn't enough. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to be very unprofessional. Could you grab a capo from my guitar case? I thought I had it with me. It should be right there. Thanks, Chris. Thank you. What a bum. This song, Chris, you will know. All that talk about all that talk about new songs and new beginnings. This is actually quite an old song, but I reworked it because I felt like it was important to have something like this on the record, and it's the last song on it. I probably will never play it live, but I'll play it for you guys. Sing to me like you did that night when there was no one else but us, and everything was diamonds in the spring. I still can hear that lullaby deep inside. When twilight blooms, I think of you. The shadows dance across my room. I swear by this blue moon that I will see you soon. Hold your courage to your chest, nestled in a childhood locket where no one else can find. There's beauty in your eyes I have read in stories old. It's been foretold, our star-crossed love, a holy dove, promised to my God above. I swear by this blue moon that I will see you soon. The ocean divides us, my dear, but sleep now and I will wait here. The stars caress the midnight sky, but soon they'll have to say goodbye, just like we had to do. But I hope to see you soon.
Oh, Jack, don't leave.
You're not done yet. You gotta stand
Don't
up here for
leave.
the end.
Yeah, you gotta stand up. We have to come up here and
Guys, clap
please,
more.
please clap.
Please clap.
Ladies and gentlemen, are we? Well, where do we sit? Well, we got this thing still connected.
It's falling apart here.
God almighty.
Come on, man.
We don't.
You know what? Let's do the whole episode again.
All right, cut.
Alright, everyone back to one.
I think you're on that one.
Oh, am I? Am I today? Are we on this one? There it is. Go to the light. All right. Yeah, I guess so. That's the Vaughns. That's Jack Linden from Karma Gambit, live as always from the Asbury Park Music Foundation. For Chris Dubrow, I have been, and I remain Brian Erickson. We'll see you next week. Woo!